Hello everybody, Baron Bananas here again. Sorry about the delayed start. I was helping to clean out the garage and we just lost track of time because we just kind of got into a rhythm of it. I'm also chewing on lunch. Worked through lunch too. So I'll just be kind of snacking on fries throughout when I can. Anyway, so we're back to Katawa Shoujo. When we last played this on Sunday, we had just finished off Emmy's route, where she finally, decided to trust us and tell us things. Let us care about her. And that ended off on a happy note. Now, we're going to be going back to Act 1, like I said in my title. And we're going to get ourselves onto Hanako's route. Thankfully, most of the work has been done already. Because to get onto Hanako's route, you pretty much have to do the exact same things you did to get onto Lily's route. The thing that changes it up is the decision right here at the save point I have. Because normally, in the context of the story right here, when we were on Lily's route, we chose on a day where, at the end of a half day, it's like, what do we want to do? Do we want to go to our room? Do we want to go to the library? Do we want to go into town? We chose go into town, which let us run into Lily. Now, we are actually going to be choosing one of the other options, and that'll get us onto Hanako's route. In fact, if you can sort of remember, back on Emmy's route, when we got to this scene, because of choices we made a little earlier, we never got an option to do something else. The game denied us that because we had, made the decisions that pretty much, well, we made the one decision that really locks us onto Emmy's route. Oh man, these fries are good. Anyway, I'm gonna load this up and we will start. Get showing. Yeah, good. Game is showing up. And here we go. There's gotta be something to do that can kill the time. And as you can see, the game remembers what choices we have made. So there's a check mark next to this one, meaning, yes, we've already made this decision once before. Even though that was many, many hours ago, and we've had different saves for it, the game itself remembers what we've clicked. So going through the games again and choosing the different options is a little easier. Alright, so we're going for a walk into town. That gets us onto Lily. Going to the library. That gets us to cute little Hanako. Library seems as good a place as any to go. Hanako looked as if she was taken pretty off guard by Lily leaving, so she might want someone to talk to. Slinging my bag over my shoulder, I make my way out of the classroom. I walk down the hallway to the library, past a multitude of closed doors. Through each one, the sound of furious rehearsal can be heard. Rock music blares out of one door, almost as loud as a concert. I guess that's one of the advantages of a private school. There are actually enough rooms to go around at a time like this. And when I think about it, the grounds and buildings of the school are kept in pretty good condition. That can't be too cheap. I've heard this place has some pretty serious benefactors. The walls of the library only partially insulate the noise of the festival preparations, but they're the only sounds that can but they're the only sounds that can be heard. Jesus. Well, yeah, that's it. Like, barely a minute into actually playing the game, I've already screwed up saying a line. Go me! And again, I apologize for the chewing, but I am very hungry. Not a soul stirs here, with everyone apparently enjoying the weather outside or working on festival events. Yuko isn't here either. Maybe she doesn't work on Saturdays. I quietly walk through the library, now fairly familiar with its layout. I head to the back, where Hanako's private little corner is. I run my hand along the spines of the books on the way through, feeling the individual texture of each as I glance across the titles. I used to do this all the time at the library at the hospital. Some things never change, I guess. Well, you get into the world of 2021, no one wants you running your hands on anything. This is like 2005, so you're good. Like the smell of a library. No matter how much care you take, the paper and books is always going to degrade with time. Probably, no matter which library you go into, anywhere in the world, it must have the same musty smell. I find something that looks light enough to read without any major thought involved, then look for Hanako in the reading area. Once again, she's sitting on a beanbag with her back to a bookshelf, reading the same book she'd had in the classroom. She's slowly making her way through the pages. Unlike last time I saw her here, I quietly take a seat in a beanbag. The noise is enough to catch her attention, but not startle her. This delicate routine that must be followed each and every time I try to talk to her almost feels like a hunting game. Is that the same book as before?
Yes, I'm almost finished.
Cool. I wonder if I should... Do you mind if I borrow it when you're finished? My mouth is faster than my mind, it seems. Yeah, same with mine. I speak faster than I think. That's how I flub up all these lines. I'm gonna put those off to the side for us now. That's kind of in the way of me resting my arms.
Sure. You may not like it, but...
I'm sure it can't be that bad. After all, you've stuck with it, haven't you?
I guess.
I settle into my beanbag and set about reading my own book that had been buried in my bag. It's a light novel about pirates. To be honest, I'm barely skimming over the words, having chosen the book merely because it belongs to a different genre than I usually read. Finding it hard to muster enough enthusiasm to finish the book, and noting that I've inadvertently distracted Hanako quite a bit, I decided to try and make conversation. So, I see Lily left without you? She nods before taking her eyes off her book. She must have been really into it after all.
Lily said she had to go and meet someone.
Oh?
Akira. Her sister.
Sister? I haven't heard her talk about her family. Oh boy, we all know about her family.
She and Akira used to live together.
I thought all the students lived in the dorms.
I mean, we don't have to.
but it's easier, right? I mean, there's food here, and you're close to the school. I don't think I've ever been to class on time so often in my life. Her badly hidden smile proves quite rewarding. In the back of my mind, I know I have a bit of homework to catch up on, but it's quite comfortable in here. No one can find me and force me into working for their pet project either. Gee, I wonder who he's talking about. Insert mwahaha here. Though now that I'm thinking about the festival, another question comes up. Hey, Hanako, what are you doing for the festival? For a split second, I think that Hanako is about to throw her book in the air from shock.
Sorry?
I was just asking what you're doing for the festival tomorrow. Anything planned?
I don't know.
Hanako answers in the way that people do when they don't want you to ask any more questions. I take it large crowds and loud music aren't really her thing. Oh, okay. Change the subject, change the subject. So, what's Lily's sister like?
She's nice. She's pretty like Lily, but she dresses businesslike.
Businesslike?
She's always wearing a suit.
Ah, I see. And that makes her less pretty somehow? Hanako gives an embarrassed shake of her head.
No, just different.
I'll admit it, this has got me intrigued. To hear Hanako talk about someone other than Lily is a first, and to be complimentary about it too. As I try to picture this mystery sister, all I can think of is Lily in a suit. And I can't imagine that not being attractive. Not at all. Yeah, Lily would look good in pretty much anything, man. Well, one day you'll have to introduce me to her.
Okay.
Our brief conversation ends as abruptly as it started, and we both return to our novels. Passage of time is marked only by the gradual movement of the patch of light cast through the window. Slowly, the noises from the various rehearsals in the building fade out and die as students start to get hungry and tired. Just thinking about that makes my stomach start to turn knots around itself. I think it's time to head back. Do you think Lily would be back by now? I think I might try to head back to my dorm. I'm pretty tired from this week. And not a word of that is a lie. Moving to a new school as it ramps up for a major event has been taxing, to say the least. I can feel myself nodding off as I read my book. Everyone who reads, we've done it. We've all done it. We've started falling asleep while reading a book. Doesn't take the enjoyment of the book out of it, though. I gotta actually start reading books again. I got a whole bunch of stuff I could catch up on. Just been kind of putting it off. Which I'm sure a lot of people have, even though, now would be the time to, do it, to read.
Okay. I might stay here a little longer.
Looking at Hanako's book, I can see she's only a few pages away from completing it. For a moment, I consider hanging around until she finishes, but once again my stomach turns, emitting a gurgling sound. Sure thing. Well, I'm gonna head off before it gets dark. I'll see you around, okay?
Okay. See you, Sao.
Later.
Hisao?
Hmm?
Thank you. For hanging out with me.
I can see how hard it was for her to get that simple sentence out of her mouth. It leaves me hanging for a moment. So, there is someone in this school who is even lonelier than me. Maybe lonely is a wrong word. I haven't been lacking company for this first week, but I've still managed to feel somewhat alone and detached. Maybe lonely is a wrong word for Hanako too. She has Lily after all, doesn't she? I realize I've been standing there far too long without answering and pull off a flawless, not too exaggerated smile. You're welcome. Good night, Hanako.
Night.
I leave her to finish her book and head back to the dorms and the promise of food. That was sweet. I feel like we're gonna get a little bit of similar dialogue coming up here, because I believe this is day of the festival. So we're gonna get Kenji. Yay. The next day, I wake up feeling a little lightheaded. It's almost noon already. Sleeping late is fine, since it's a Sunday and there are no classes. Not just a Sunday, though, but the festival as well. From my window, I can already see some people at the soba booth slinging noodles onto plates for people with a craving for low-quality food. Throw back a handful of my morning meds and ponder how to spend the day. There'll be a few exams in the coming week, but I don't consider those as ominous as others, so I'm not as worried about them as I probably should be. With no urgent obligations regarding education, I should be free to spend the day at the festival as I like. Finishing my morning routine, I exit into the hallway, intending to go out and find something to eat. Passing by his door, I decide to see what Kenji's up to today out of impulse. I'm curious if he has any plans, since everyone is doing something. Then again, I can picture him having built a soundproof shelter in his room. Or possibly something like a fort, complete with a "No Girls Allowed" sign. And with the "girls" crossed out and "body" crudely scrawled underneath it. Knocking on his door, which is luckily devoid of any kind of sign, I hear again the unsettling clicking of at least 10 locks being pulled back. The door opens up a crack. Who is it? You're supposed to ask that before you open the door. Oh, it's you. Damn, it's early. It's not really that early. What is it, man? Nothing. I was just gonna ask what you're gonna do today. Half the school's out there already. Out where? Why? What? What? Is today special? Why are they there? Who are they? Who are? Damn it. Kenji, you're freaking manic. I still like you because you're manic, but you're just still a terrible person. I still shudder at the thought of 2021 Kenji. I can hear them. It's loud. So tell me, has the invasion begun? He suddenly looks more alarmed. What day is it, man? Yeah, I guess you can't see the big wooden booths outside and people selling stuff. What the hell are you talking about?
I have my curtain closed at all times to thwart the snipers.
It's the festival. You know that, right?
Oh shit. That's today? Ah, damn. Ah, damn. Damn it. I can't believe I forgot. I don't have my fort finished yet. This is bad. This is gonna be a very bad day. It's good you told me this, man. This is going to be a bad day.
Why?
Oh man, they're gonna be everywhere. The people outside my window. Socializing.
Kenji rubs his temples nervously, suddenly looking very ill.
It's gonna be loud as hell. Damn. And I was gonna go out today. But now it's ruined. Everything is ruined. This is awful. This sucks. This sucks. What the hell? This really sucks. I can't go anywhere now. There's nowhere to run.
Kenji seems nervous. You could even say he's majorly freaking out.
I can't believe this. So that's what today was. Damn. And I couldn't even prepare for it. I couldn't even brace myself. And now it's here, and I can't do anything. You should have told me this earlier, dude. I mean, at least I know, but I could have known earlier. Imagine what I could have accomplished.
Sorry? I thought you knew. So I guess you're not gonna do anything today? The weather's even good. Yesterday was really windy, so I thought today would be cold. It's not though, so there's no reason just stay inside. Yeah, you should check the festival out. Kenji groans and covers his face with his hands.
Ah, no. I can't do it. They'll leave me alive out there. I know it.
That has to be a joke. But he said it with such a straight face. Relatively straight.
What are you gonna do? We should hang out in here. You can help me build my fort. Though I'd still make it if we worked together.
I don't know. I'm pretty hungry, so I thought I'd get some food first, and then check out the attractions. Your class project seemed pretty cool, and I gave a hand with it, so I want to see at least that one and chat with Lily, I guess. Speaking of that, don't you have an obligation for the project?
Are you out of your mind? That blind broad is up to no good. I can feel it in my spleen, man. Her presence is like a dark shadow that's in the way of my great vision. That's expected of blind people.
What? Besides, I thought you were also... He holds up his hand to interrupt me. Only legally.
Metaphorically, I can see farther than any man before me has seen.
Kenji looks stoically into the metaphorical distance to emphasize his statement, thrusting his chin forward to look manlier. Actually, it's just a corridor wall 2 meters away, but it's all the same.
I can see the future of mankind, and it's a dark one unless the threat of women is stifled. They are everywhere.
He fingers his scarf nervously, faster and faster like he's trying to start a fire, then slowly begins to calm down once the panic attack finishes running its course.
I'm gonna have to find some place to hide in, a safe haven, and then knock the lights out myself so I don't have to experience this horrible day. I have the perfect thing for that. I must now prepare.
Don't go to the festival. Okay.
Later, dude.
The door slowly closes with a low creak, and I don't know how to feel about what Kenji just said. After buying a plastic plate of takoyaki from a stall belonging to the class next to ours, I take a seat in the school gardens and watch people pass as I tentatively nibble away at the rather bland-tasting item. I guess I shouldn't complain. It's better than nothing, and it didn't cost much. As I look out toward the school, watching the people coming and going proves a surprisingly entertaining way of passing the time as I eat. Little children, accompanied by parents or grandparents, scamper about in the din from event to event, one hand dragging their company and the other bearing an oversized, colorful snack. I can't help but notice the age range among the people here is skewed toward the elderly, something that I'd also noticed when I was walking around town. This must be one of those towns where the only people left are those that lived here their whole lives and ardently refused to leave, and those wanting to live out the rest of their days in one of the increasingly few tranquil places. I guess that also goes a way to explaining how conservative Yamaku's school culture seems to be. Not that I mind one bit. I kinda like how calm Yamaku and its surroundings are. The heat, though, is another matter entirely. Sitting in one place for so long has focused my mind on how annoyingly humid it's getting. Not the hottest part of the day is here. Better get moving if I got... Of course, the minute I go to take a drink, it's a line that gets interrupted immediately. Meanwhile, speaking of having cheap food, but it ain't bland, it's salty. Sorry, I need to get a few more of these down. That's better. The sound of the Carillion bells takes me completely by surprise as I stand up, a reaction shared by a few of the people strolling around as well. The PA system crackles to life after the tolling bells end. Its age shows as the principal makes a barely intelligible announcement over it, officially opening the festival that's very much in full swing. It's quite amusing to contrast the pleasant smiles of the older folk against the alternatively pained and bored grimaces of their younger charges. The students, on the other hand, seem to pay it little heed. Nevertheless, as the address finally ends, all are united in polite, if not overly enthusiastic, applause, and then get back to business. Slipping a hand into my pocket to look as relaxed as possible, I casually glance around for something to do. It's somewhat difficult to see very far with all the people around. I decide to fall back on a tried and trusted rule. Go where everyone else seems to be gathering. Right now, that's the school courtyard and surroundings. Throwing the used plate into a trash can, I make my way toward the school building. Seeing the number of stalls around the perimeter of the school building surprises me. Quite a few of the classes must have opted to have multiple stalls. In deciding which to visit first, I catch sight of a familiar banner with a blue patterned border and red text. Lily's stall is as good a place to start as any. I'm curious as to how it's going, after all the work she and her class have been doing for it. Stepping up to it, I begin to see why the class took so long to organize everything. Easily twice as wide as many of the other stalls, and with equipment for cooking strewn everywhere, it's closer to an outdoor restaurant than a festival event. As a student in front of me takes a bowl of noodles and leaves, I walk up to the counter. The girl behind it seems quite exasperated and asks me to wait a moment before she disappears underneath the counter. Seizing the moment, I take a quick glance around. Steam seems to be rising from everywhere as pots and pans simmer away. The most blind of the students are unpacking ingredients while being helped by someone who is probably the teacher of 3-2. It doesn't take long to notice Lily among them, talking with the teacher as she quickly counts out the boxes and packets with her fingers. From her expression and the fact that both she and the teacher seem to be in a state of mild confusion, it appears that there's been some problem in coordination. Before I can stare any longer, the girl behind the counter pops up again, only to look back and ask where the spare change box is. Lily pauses for a moment before she and the girl switch places at the counter, and the teacher quickly walks off somewhere. Hi, Lily. Yeah, it's been forever since I've done the Lily voice. I've partially forgotten how I did Lily's voice, but I'm gonna give it a shot and just roll with it.
Sorry about that. We're having a few problems. What would you like?
Takes me a second to remember what I've come here for. My eyes quickly dart to the side to read the menu sitting on the counter. Oh, I guess, miso soup?
Ah, is that Hisao?
Yep. Looks like you're pretty busy. Her face all but confirms it as she drops her waitress facade.
Somewhere along the line, our order got mixed up. We're trying to fix it now, but it looks like we only have half of what we needed.
Wouldn't serving smaller portions cover over the problem?
It seems like that's what we'll have to do, though I wish we didn't. The fact that a good half of our class is gone doesn't help either.
I glance behind her to see how many people are actually operating the stall. It couldn't be over about 8. I take it that's why your teacher left?
That's right. She's going to try and round up a few more of our classmates to help.
Hearing the sound of footsteps behind me, I stealthily glance backwards to see an elderly couple taking a place in the line. I guess I'd better stop loitering around and chatting. Here's the money for the soup.
Soup. Oh, right. Coming right up.
Lily turns and calls for a bowl of miso soup as I hand over the money for it. Taking the coins in her palm, I can't help but notice how efficiently she counts them out with her long, pale fingers. Eventually satisfied that I've handed over the correct change, she puts into a small metal tray. It isn't long before the soup is made and carefully handed to her, after which she turns and subsequently passes it to me. Thanks. I'll come back and drop off the bowl.
Thank you, Hisao. Oh, there is one other thing. Have you seen Hanako?
Hanako? No, not today. Why? She gives a small sigh of abject disappointment.
It's okay. I was just wondering what she was doing for the festival. You'll come back when you're done, then?
Sure. I'll keep an eye out for Hanako, too.
Thank you, Hisao.
I walk off from the stall and find a seat, carefully cradling the steaming wooden bowl in both hands. Compared to the dumplings from before, this is quite nice. A little cool compared to what it probably should be, perhaps, but the flavor is enough to cover for that reasonably well. As I drink, I can't help but feel somewhat guilty for not being as involved in the festival as others. It can't really be helped, considering I was dropped into the school only a week ago, it still weighs heavily on my mind. That, and the fact that a few students don't really seem to be enjoying the festival as much as the visitors. Eventually, I finish my bowl and leave for the stall to drop it off. Considering that there seems to be no line at all, I take my time walking up. Seems the teacher's mission paid off. There are now over a dozen students helping, and much of the unpacking has been done. Despite most of them seeming quite relaxed as they work, Lily still appears to be somewhat stressed. Lily doesn't look impressed at all, and I can't really blame her. On top of her issues with her stall, she still seems to be worried about Hanako. I can't really help her with the former, so I guess the only way I can help is by trying to take her mind off our shy mutual friend. Placing the bowl back on the counter, I call out to Lily. Hey, Lily, don't worry about Hanako. I'll go find her and hang out with her, okay? I can see Lily's relief plainly written across her face.
Thanks, Hisao. And if you see anyone from my class, can you tell them to come back here, please?
Will do. Have a good one. And make sure you take a break, okay?
I will if I can. See you later, Hisao.
I leave Lily in the stall and head out in search of Hanako. If we recall, back on Lily's route, well, yes, we knew she was worried about, Hanako not really being around. She was also somewhat stressed. They got people there, but we decided to try to force her onto a break and took her with us to look for Hanako. In this case, we're looking for Hanako ourselves. In a way, I feel bad for leaving her with the crowds. Even though she was clearly under pressure, I can't help but think that she's enjoying herself. Yeah, we didn't think of that before. We wanted to get her on a break because she looked like she was stressed, and they had plenty of help. So, yeah, different thing. We didn't spend a night going to the store with her, so, yeah. We spent the day with Hanako beforehand, so we're a little more connected with her. The halls are packed with swaying crowds meandering throughout the festival. There's one thing I know about Hanako, it's that she's not going to be anywhere near this. And with the students showing their friends and family their dorms, I doubt she'll be there either. Following blind intuition, I move against the grain of the crowd. Thankfully, this crowd seems to be slightly less festive than your usual festival crowd. I assume this out of the consideration for the student body. As I force my way through the masses, it doesn't take long for them to thin down into nothingness. This is not surprising, since I'm standing before the library. Even the most eager of students don't bother to show anyone this section of the school. As I enter the library, the noise of the festival fades into a dull background noise, and as soon as I'm in the reading area, damn it. Good, there, yeah, that's my mind moving faster than my mouth. Or my mouth moving faster than my mind, whatever, you know what I'm trying to say. I'll just prove the point again. As I enter the library, the noise of the festival fades into a dull background noise, and soon I'm in the reading area at the rear of the room. Behind one of the partitioned desks, I see the top of a head with straight, dark hair catching my eye. Hey, Hanako. I had a feeling I'd find you here. The head jumps a little in shock before slowly peeping over the partition. Hisao? Hey, Lily's pretty busy, so she sent me to find you. Oh. Do you want to sit down? Actually, I'm feeling a little hungry. Would you like to get something to eat from one of the stands? I brought some food, so... I shouldn't be surprised, but it was worth a try. Expecting her to go outside today was a long shot. How about we eat in the tea room? I passed it by on the way here, and no one was around. We can make some food there, and it'll be a little more comfortable. What do you say? Sure. Let's go. Hanako closes her book and puts it away with deliberate practice movements. Good to go? Yeah. We walk side by side from the library to the tea room. As expected, there's barely a soul around. If it weren't for the murmurs through the walls, you wouldn't tell that there was a huge festival going on outside. Hanako carries her bag in both hands and focuses on just the floor ahead of her. Every now and again, she seems to break her pace a little and steps in slightly shorter paces. The first time it happened, I gave it no mind, but I soon noticed that she does it on a regular basis. Are you alright? She stops dead in her tracks. What? I don't know. It looked like you were tripping or something? A pink blush rises into her cheeks as her gaze returns to the floor. It's nothing. You know, when you say nothing like that, people are inspired to ask further questions. For a second, I don't think she's going to answer. Prepared to leave it be, I almost set off walking again when... It's a game. Game? Do you see the floor here? What a bizarre question. The floor looks just like any other floor, covered in those tiles made up from squares of linoleum. Yes, the floor seems to be made of floor. Okay, good. Usually my mic picks up my coughs, and I can see that on the sound mixer, but it didn't that time, so I got worried that another one broke. I really hope not. I'd rather not replace my headset already. If it does end up breaking again, I'm buying a frickin' I'm gonna end up probably buying a SteelSeries headset just to go with my mouse and keyboard. Because why not? Make it all match. And I've been liking them. really like the keyboard. I've gotten used to the mouse really fast. Started buying rechargeable batteries for it because it seemed to go through the regular batteries we have a little too quickly. So I was like, yeah, just get the rechargeable ones. I got 3 pairs of them, so once 2 of them are dead, charge those up, the 3rd set inside. Nothing noteworthy. Well, yes. What about it?
Sometimes, when there's no one around, I only step on the darker ones.
Hanako's voice trails off as her explanation continues, until I can barely hear her voice over the roaring silence of the empty hall. Damn, quieter than silence. Darker ones? Shuffling her feet, Hanako points the toe of her shoe at a tile that is barely a shade darker than the others.
Like these ones.
Oh, right. So these ones are no good? I point out a nearby tile.
Yeah. Something like that.
Oh, I see. Do you play this game a lot? Hanako shakes her head. Just when the halls are empty? She nods. Well then, no point in stopping. I'm beginning to get really hungry. She nods again, this time with a little more enthusiasm. Well then, let's go. We set off down the hall, and this time I noticed that Hanako was paying a little less attention to the floor. I wonder, just how lonely does someone have to be to come up with a game like that? But before I realize what I'm doing, I find myself trying to aim each step so it lands on the correct tiles. I mean, honestly, stupid little things like that can just be entertaining, and you just find yourself doing it anyway. Just stupid little things just to entertain yourself. Ever since I was in elementary school, anytime I was going downstairs, I would always jump off from the 2nd step. I wouldn't step down all the way. It was always, once I got to that second last step, I just hop the last step to the ground. Still do that, like, all the time now. Just a habit, I like it. It's just kind of fun. We all got our little things. I like jumping off the 2nd last step. Hanako likes stepping on the darker tiles. Though maybe doing that contributed to my knees being bad. Just a random shock of jumping. Who knows? The noise of the festival is slightly louder inside the tea room, but the breeze coming through the open window makes it worth it. Without thinking, I walk to the windowsill and inhale deeply. I sometimes forget how clean the air is here compared to back home.
Would you like some tea?
That'd be great. Thanks. It occurs to me that this is the first time I've been alone with Hanako without her trying to be somewhere else. Turning from the window, I watch as she makes a simple pot of tea and arranges some sandwiches onto a plate. I've seen her do this before a number of times, but this time it seems slightly different. It's like she's calm. Eventually, she places the small tray on the table and pours 2 cups of tea. The fresh scent of brewed tea mingles with the breeze, and for a second I feel like I'm the only one in the world. I think I know why you like this room now.
I don't know what you mean.
Well, there are quite a few people out there, but in here it's like another world. You can pretend that there's no one around for miles.
You're right. It's like the world has forgotten this room. And because of that, you could forget about the outside.
That would be appealing in some cases. As far as I can tell, conventional bullying doesn't exist in this school. But then again, I haven't seen a single person talk to Hanako besides Lily. If you're ignored by the world, a place where you can forget its existence would hold a special appeal. That's a good point. It's like this room gives you a kind of complete freedom.
Yeah. Say, do you play chess?
Chess? I played it a bit, I guess. I take it you've played before?
A little.
Without saying anything more, Hanako moves to one of the cupboards and digs out a small chess set.
Do you want?
Sure, why not? I cut her off, but she doesn't seem to mind it. We arrange the pieces, and before long, we are sending pawns charging to their inevitable fates. I take my time and intently examine each move and its consequences. Nostalgia for the game taking second place to the matters at hand. For a time, the game is a lengthy battle of attrition, but I spot an opening and tear a line in her defense. A few moves later, her king is cornered by several of my pieces. Checkmate. You're not bad at this, are you? An honest appraisal. Her technique is pretty good, but several times I was able to exploit her lack of prediction. I pick up a piece and examine it. It looks relatively new, yet worn for its age.
I guess not.
Does Lily play? The absence of Hanako's answer causes me to think about my question.
A bit. This is the first time I've played against someone other than her, or... She cuts herself off abruptly, leaving the answer hanging in the air.
Someone she knew before coming to Yamaku, maybe? Well then, I'm honored to have played against you.
Can we play again?
She asked as if she were asking me to cut off my own hands. The spirit of competition's gotten into her? Sure, though don't expect me to go easy on you this time. Not that I was before, mind. She seems to appreciate the competitive tone.
Same here.
As we're setting up the pieces, there's a noise at the door.
Good afternoon. Oh my god, Lily's music.
I love Lily's theme music so much.
Lily.
Oh, hey there, Lily. Are you finished?
You both are here? Wonderful. At any rate, our teacher managed to round up some extra help, so I was able to leave. Have you been here since you left?
Pretty much. We've just been playing a bit of chess.
Would you like a cup of tea? Actually, I think it'd be a good idea to go outside for a little while.
The instant drop in Hanako's face shows her objection to this plan, even though she says nothing. I feel strangely compelled to voice what is plainly in view on her face, but Lily can't see. I kinda think we should just stay here.
Really? It's so crowded here that I was thinking we should leave the school and head for the local tea house. You mean the Shanghai? Of course. With everyone at the festival, it should be practically empty.
Tea house?
Oh, that's right. You probably don't know of it. There's a tea house not far from here, which we go to every so often.
Sounds like a plan. Hanako, what do you think? Hanako jumps a little at being forced into the conversation, but at least she seems less distraught than before.
If it's the Shanghai, I think it'll be nice. Well then, it's settled. Let's be on our way.
Hanako and I rise from the table in our preemptive chess game. Before I can do anything, Hanako has poured the pieces into a small container and placed the board away. Looks like we're ready now. Please, lead on. Hanako moves to Lily's side and we venture around to the school's corridors. The pair leads me through a series of unfamiliar doors and we emerge on the side of the building opposite of the festival grounds. Insulated by the heavy stone of the building, the noise from the crowd has faded to a murmur. Strange. I thought that most people would be beginning to leave by now.
They're probably here to view the fireworks.
Fireworks?
Yes. Apparently the school puts on quite a show. A lot of people come from town just to watch them.
Lily's decision to leave the school grounds seems to make sense now. Hanako would probably have a hard time with the whole town descending onto the school. Or ascending, as the case may be. For the second time since arriving at Yamaku, I find myself walking down this road with Lily. Oh yeah, that's right, we went to town with her once already, before. Only now that I can barely hear the incessant noise of the festival, do I realize how loud it was. I can hear my ears ringing slightly in the still evening air as they recover from the day's assault on them. Hanako clings to Lily and still manages to guide her along the road. That, and avoiding the occasional gaze from curious pedestrians, appears to completely sap her constitution. She rarely raises her focus from the ground in front of her, nor does she utter a word. Lily, on the other hand, maintains her prim and proper persona just as she does in school. It's obvious she purposely puts effort into her appearance rather than hiding it as Hanako does. It's striking how different they are in their way of holding themselves outside of Yamaku's grounds. That said, it's obvious in both their cases that they do visibly change. Inside Yamaku, everyone is special, which negates the specialness of it. As good old Syndrome said, when everyone is super, no one is. But once we venture outside the school gates, we are returned to the status of outsider and generic labels. Especially when we're still in school uniform. It's like hanging a sign around your neck, challenging people to figure out what is wrong with you. I'm surprised that so many of the students keep it on. Then again, with canes and wheelchairs common among the students, I guess it's not really that much of a giveaway. Or maybe I'm the only one that sees this as a stigma? Maybe you get used to it after a time, like any other school uniform. The tea house seems fairly standard from the outside. Just an ordinary building with typical signs decorating the entrance. It looks like the type of place you'd walk by without a thought. Just another generic cafe in a sea of thousands. If Hanako hadn't steered Lily into the entrance, I would have continued on down the road without ever knowing that it existed. Inside the tea house takes on a more traditional feel. Everything seems to have been made from the same lump of timber, from the counter and benches to the high-backed booths around the walls. But the most striking feature of the room is the lack of life. I think I can faintly hear something bubbling away in the background, but otherwise the room is silent. Without any direction, we simply wait near the entrance, politely obeying the "Please wait to be seated" sign. Is this place closed or something? Oh, Yuko. The sound of a chair falling over echoes throughout the empty room, and a head shoots up from inside a booth.
I wasn't asleep, and welcome to the Shanghai.
Yuko, dressed in a pastel apron and clutching a menu, rushes to greet us. Her misaligned glasses and ruffled hair cast suspicion on her previous statement. Wow, they have like no business, so the only waitress just takes a nap. The fact she could easily get away with that kind of says a lot about this place. But whether she was asleep or not isn't the first question that leaps to my mind. You work here now? What happened to the library?
What? Lily? Hasao? Welcome to the Shanghai. Oh my god, she dropped her glasses. Oh my god.
Oh, Yuko is such a mess. Oh my god. Yuko, still waking up, jerks into a violent bow, dislodging her glasses in the process.
My glasses.
As I pick up her spectacles off the floor, Lily offers an explanation.
Yuko works here part-time as well at the library. It's one of the reasons we like to come here.
Yuko takes her glasses from my hands, shakily putting them back on.
Yes, that's right. Thanks. Shall I show you to your table? There's no one else here, so you can choose your table and order whatever you like. But there may be a delay as I have to make it myself. It's all right, Yuko. Just a pot of black tea and a plate of sandwiches will be fine. Right! I'll get right on that.
Yuko hurries off to the back of the cafe, leaving us still standing at the entrance. She pushes the swinging half doors open before realizing she hasn't seated us.
I'm sorry. Please sit wherever you'd like. I'll be right back.
Following her advice, I lead Lily to the nearest booth as Hanako follows. As I begin to sit next to Lily, I realize how appropriate this place is for Hanako. The high-backed booths totally separate you from the rest of the room, and it doesn't look like it gets all that many customers. All the furnishing, from the cushions on the benches to the condiment holders, look dated but aren't overly worn. I wonder if Lily deliberately selects places like this to take Hanako. She seems like the type that would go to lengths to cater to Hanako's unique predicament.
So, Hisao, I didn't know you played chess.
Well, not very well, but I do know how to play.
I suppose the obvious question now would be, who won?
Lily's innocent smile makes me hesitate. I don't really want to look like I'm lording my victory over Hanako.
Hisao did.
Yes, but not by much. Damn. Saying that out loud makes me feel like I've done something terrible.
Well done, Hisao. You've accomplished something I've only ever failed at.
Thanks. I haven't played in ages, so it felt good to play again.
Yes, it did.
Hanako fidgets with her hair a little and looks away as she replies, but a small smile emerges. That's a little more extreme of a reaction than I expected. It's still kind of cute in that Hanako way. Throws me a little off guard, and only Yuko's cataclysmic re-entry shocks me back into conversation. Are you alright there, Yuko? Do you need a hand?
I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm fine. I have to do this properly. It's my job.
Concentration plays across her face while she stares at the tray in her hands, as if simply looking at its contents will hold them in place. Sadly, this doesn't prove all that effective. The cups and saucers slowly dance around, occasionally clattering as they collide with one another. Taking great care, Yuko sets the tray down on the table with only the subtlest of crashes. God, Yuko, you were a hot mess. Like, damn. Also, why is the waitress also the cook? Is there no one else in the building? I mean, granted, all we got is a pot of tea and some sandwiches, but still. I feel like the owner shouldn't be leaving one waitress in charge of the whole building. Okay.
There! See?
Well done?
Thank you, Yuko.
Yuko's head rockets downwards in her distinctive bow before answering.
You're very welcome. Would you like to join us? There's something else I'd like to discuss about that recent order, if I may.
Oh, that's right. Lily and Yuko were discussing a pile of books when I first met Hanako. Something about Lily helping with the braille?
Yes. Why did... We didn't get the chance to go through them, did we?
Yuko hastily sits down next to Hanako. Apparently her dedication to this job only goes as far as her concentration. Once it's broken, she suddenly loses it.
I'll be in the library tomorrow afternoon if you'd like to try again. That sounds perfect. I'll meet you there after classes. Lily? Oh dear, that's right. Tomorrow is Monday. How could I have forgotten?
I'm starting to feel a little left out of the loop here. Then again, that's to be expected. I have been here for barely a week, so it's impossible to know everyone's schedule.
Well, perhaps we can come to some other arrangement. Yuko, will you be in the library later in the week? Maybe, but this is already overdue. And there are some things I need. This might be a problem.
Lily ponders for a second before discovering the answer.
I wonder, might we be able to enlist the help of another, if need be?
To do what? You lost me quite some time ago. Being volunteered for something without even having the slightest idea what is going on isn't really my thing. And here I thought I finally escaped the clutches of the student council and their repeated attempts to recruit me.
Oh, of course. The other day I was helping Yuko sort the new Braille books in the library. But Hanako and I usually go shopping on Monday afternoons. It's quieter on that day than on weekends. Last week we couldn't go because I was busy with the festival. I managed to slip away later in the week, but Hanako couldn't make it.
Well, since I can't read Braille, I'm assuming you'd like me to go shopping with Hanako?
Correct. You were a great help to me the other day.
I think I can handle that. Hanako, what do you think?
If you wouldn't mind.
Of course not. I'm still not familiar with all the stores in the area, so it sounds like a good idea.
Okay. Now that we have that arranged, shall we have some tea?
It's now that I realize our tea has been sitting idly by all this time, getting no hotter.
It's my fault. Let me pour that for you.
Yuko reaches out with shaking hands, but I intercept her. She looks in no state to be handling hot liquids. It's alright, I've got it. Since you already made the tea and sandwiches, you fulfilled your waitress duties, right?
I guess.
Yuko relaxes a little, but still watches eagerly as I share out the assortment. As I'm about to bite into the sandwich, a low, loud rumble can be heard, along with a flash of light from outside.
Ah, I take it the show has started.
Only now, looking outside, I realize that dusk has come and gone, leaving us in the peak of twilight. Sparkling tracers arc upwards, ready to explode in the floral shapes of fireworks.
Let's go watch. Oh, sorry, Lily. Please, don't miss the show on my account. From what I've heard, this isn't a bad location to watch them from.
With the exception of Lily, we rush to the window of the small tea house to watch the show. The strobe of colored lights plays across Hanako and Yuko's smiling faces, and for a second, I forgot to look out the window. Forget. In this totally new world, there are a few things that don't change. I think that's why the school makes such a fuss over the festival. It's a chance to show the similarities between everyone. The show is over all too quickly. Fireworks are expensive, even for the most well-funded schools. before we return to our tea and sandwiches, Hanako turns to me.
Th thanks for today. And tomorrow.
That's okay. I don't think I could have faced those crowds either. On days like this, it's more relaxing to spend some time away from everyone, don't you think?
Yeah.
Anyway, we've been delaying this tea for far too long now. Let's get back.
Sure.
We return to the booth and our light meal.
That sounded impressive. Bigger than last year's, at least. Yeah, it was great. I've never seen them put on such a show. It gets better every year. I'm afraid, however, that during that time, the tea has gone cold. Oh no! Let me make some more. This is my fault.
Calm down, Yuko. It's nobody's fault. I take a sip from my cup just to prove the point. This tea isn't too bad cool anyway. It's like an iced tea.
Really?
Yes, really. If you add a bit of sugar, it's kind of nice.
Are you sure?
I'm positive. Now, why don't you sit down and we'll finish this together?
Okay.
Yuko doesn't seem convinced, but sits down regardless. She carefully measures out about 5 teaspoons of sugar and adds them to her tea. Oh my god. I mean, sometimes I think I'm pushing it with 3, but 5? Holy crap, would you like some tea with your sugar? I said a bit of sugar.
I know, but I like my tea sweet anyway.
Curiously, I peer into her cup. As expected, hardly any of the sugar dissolves in the cold liquid. Oh. She stirs it twice before upturning the cup and drinking the contents, sugar and all, in a single mouthful. Oh my god! Oh, you might as well just eat sugar at that point.
You're right. It's not bad at all.
Good. I look back to Lily and Hanako, both of whom have finished their meal as I witnessed Yuko's personality in action. Not wanting to hold anyone up, I use her tactic and finish the remainder of my tea in a single swill. Well then, it seems we're all finished.
Should we head back now, or do we want seconds?
Yuko's expression shows that this is quite clearly not a good idea. I think it would be best if we got back soon. We do have to get back before curfew, after all.
Oh, that is a good point. I'll meet you tomorrow, Yuko. I'll be looking forward to it, Lily. Goodbye, everyone.
We make our way out of the small tea house and into the dark of the night. Lily and Hanako once again take point, but under the cover of darkness, Hanako seems slightly less stressed than she did on the trip here. We move against the occasional group of people emptying the school grounds, but Hanako seems to lead us along a few minor roads, avoiding the bulk of the crowd. Outside the dorms, the school seems strangely quiet when compared to the noise of the day. Well then, thank you both for today. I think I learned a lot.
You're most welcome, but I'm afraid that I really must be going. Today's been a long day.
That's right. Lily spent all of today on her feet, and I can imagine that walking outside the school would be a pretty tiring thing for her. feel a pang of guilt as I remember that I was probably the only one in the school that got up around 10 this morning. Sure thing. Well, I'll see you both tomorrow. Good night.
Good night, Isao. Night.
The girls returned to their dorm, and I to mine. Actually, now that I consider it, today tired me out as well. Act 2. Hide and seek. And I am going to save here. That's as far as I'm going to go today with Katawa Shoujo. I want to at least get her route started, so yeah. Tomorrow we will start Act 2 of Hanako's route. As you can see, her Act 2 cut-in is now as part of the main screen. Starting to really get filled in here now. And if we do go to the extras, yep. Hanako is here. How much of... Still got a lot here to go. Just to clear up Act 1. Have I unlocked all the tracks yet in the game? Oh, yeah, I unlocked all the music. Cool. Gallery. Stuff from Emmy wrote. Yeah, there's the beginning of Hanako's route. Then there's Lily. Rin. And we got everything else. Alright, so again, I'm going to call that there for today. Tomorrow, whether it be 12 o'clock or 1, somewhere between there, because I think if there's still some house stuff I'll need to do. We'll continue on and get really into Act 2 of Hanako's route. My schedule is up on Twitter. I'm going to pull it up now myself just so I can read it out. Mostly as the sort of plan I have for the week. And that's my old one? Yeah, that's my old one. Pin that. Yep, perfect. Pin that one. Alright, so yeah, tomorrow, around 12, 1 o'clock-ish, more Katawa Shoujo. Monday, Stardew Valley at 12. Tuesday, at 12, some more Blue Skies. Wednesday and Thursday at 12, we'll be trying to do some SD Gundam. We'll see how that goes. Fingers crossed, things work out well. Friday is some more Doki Doki Blue Skies. And then Saturday, we're back to Katawa Shoujo. Alright, so... That's about all I've got to say. I should have more regular schedule for at least a month, considering my work is shut down until May. Because that's just how it worked out. Anywho, thanks everybody for joining me. Hope you have a great rest of the day, and I'll see you next time.